Hey everyone, I'm Gurleen. I hope you're doing well. In today's video, we'll be discussing the trade plan for Monday, that is April 3rd, 2023 for Nifty and Bank Nifty, and a few heavyweight stocks wherein good risk to reward opportunities are brewing up. So stay tuned till the end of the video and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and do ring the notification bell so that you never miss an update. Right before we start, today was the last trading day of the financial year 2022-23. So do let me know how has the year been for you or how have the markets treated you. So without any further ado, let's look at the technical angle starting with Nifty 50. But this time, let's start with the monthly chart. So here you can see that Nifty has closed almost on a flat note and it has held on to the moving averages. So after 4 months of decline, can we see bullish momentum unfolding here on? Well, we are yet to find out. So let's take a look at the weekly chart. So you can see how the index is trading within a downward sloping parallel channel and has found support at the lower end of the channel and has also protected the lows. We have seen a positive weekly closing over here above the 17,200 mark. So I do think that near-term positive signs are coming in here. Now, as we discussed in the last video, Nifty was yet to give a breakout above the 17,200 mark, and you can see that it took out this resistance level with a gap up opening, and it has almost hit the initial upside target of 17,345 as mentioned in the last video. Now I'm expecting it to test the upper band of the channel in the days to come, which is almost around the levels of 17,540 to 17,550. Also, here on the daily chart, another harmonic pattern has been triggered above the 17,207 mark, which suggests that Nifty can possibly test the levels of about 17,592 to 17,690, but will take one day at a time as there's a major hurdle at the levels of 17,452, which coincides with the channel top as well and is also a harmonic pattern on the hourly time frame. To understand that, let's take a look at the hourly time frame. In the last video, we also discussed that long bets can be placed above 17,145 to 17,200, and that setup has been quite rewarding. There's a saying among traders that the mood of the markets on Friday is generally followed through on Monday. Now, this might stand true as Nifty has tested the initial target of about 17,345 and there's still some room left on the upside towards 17,452. Now, this might get covered in the gap up as well. So what should be the approach? Well, the level of 17,452 is a harmonic reversal zone. So we can expect some cool off from there and the index can possibly catch up with the averages, and these averages can be considered as the trailing supports. And then we might see the resumption of the trend, but this time towards higher targets of about 17,590 to 17,690, as we also discussed on the daily chart. Do keep in mind that this is just a possibility that we are considering for now, so do take the risk to reward into consideration before initiating any trades. Here, you might ask that is the bottom done? Well, we're not out of the woods yet, so in that case, we'll be considering a maximum downside towards the levels of 16,828. To conclude, the index looks sideways to bullish and you can mark the levels on the chart and trade in the direction of the trend as and when it unfolds. On a larger scale, the support for Nifty is pegged at 17,200 and 17,072, whereas the resistance is placed at 17,452 followed by 17,590. Now let's move to Bank Nifty. On the monthly time frame, you can see that Bank Nifty has posted a positive closing. So are we in for some respite in the banking space? Well, looking at the weekly chart, we can see another positive candle of about 3%, and here you can also see a falling trend line. So there's still some room left for Bank Nifty to inch higher on the upside, at least towards the trend line. But to get more clues, we need to dig a little deeper onto the smaller time frames. Now on the daily chart, Bank Nifty has also surpassed the 40,200 mark with a gap up opening, which has triggered yet another harmonic pattern on the daily chart. So here if you see, the pattern target happens to be at the levels of 41,322. So is it likely for Bank Nifty to reclaim the 41,000 mark? Well, every clue put together as of now hints that it can possibly inch higher. Now you might ask, is this just a pullback or is it a trend reversal? We are yet to find out. So we'll not really be ruling out the worst case scenario as you can see here on the daily chart. But for now, you can refer to the levels of 38,613 as the maximum downside for now. Now on the hourly chart, as we discussed in the last video, that Bank Nifty tossed above the 39,597 mark and we were expecting an upside towards 40,268 followed by 40,718, which has been achieved today. So what should be your approach going ahead? Now one possibility is that as the level of 40,718 is a harmonic reversal level, so we can expect some cool off from here probably towards the moving averages, and if we see demand coming in, then it would hint that Bank Nifty might be getting ready for the next leg on the upside. And at these very levels, conservative long bets can be looked at as it would be favorable from risk to reward point of view as well. But if you've already built long positions, it's suitable for you to trail them. So all in all, we can expect a cool off in Bank Nifty towards these levels, and it can be considered as your trailing supports for the next move on the higher side. Now for Bank Nifty, the support is placed at 40,150 followed by 39,908 and the resistance is pegged at 40,718 followed by 41,016. Now let's move to stocks. So let's start with the update on State Bank of India. So in the last video, we discussed about long side opportunities in State Bank of India towards the levels of 524 on an intraday basis and 536 on a swing basis. So here you can see that State Bank of India has achieved the target of 524, which happens to be a harmonic reversal zone. So State Bank can probably test pivot B from here, which also coincides with the averages, and if it holds on to the same, another pullback trade can be looked at, and thereafter a maximum target of about 536 might be seen at this counter. The next one is HDFC Bank. In the last week, we discussed how the short setup was invalidated in HDFC Bank, and considering that it was stable at the demand zone of 1540, so we outlined the possibility of testing the 1584 to 1596 mark, and we've seen strong momentum coming in, which has brought about another harmonic pattern into play. So with the sustained breakout of this pivot at 1590.35, a maximum upside of about 1632 can be looked at in HDFC Bank for now. Also, considering this momentum that has coming from the downside, a breather or a pullback here would not be unusual. The last one is Reliance. If you remember, we placed long bets in Reliance at the low of 2187 as it was a harmonic reversal level, and since then Reliance has held on to the low and has inched higher. By now, you might have seen how harmonics helps us to spot the reversals and not get stuck on the wrong side of the trade. Now coming back a few sessions ago, we were also discussing the possibility of a double bottom formulation in Reliance, which looks active as of now. Also, considering this 4% move in Reliance, it would not be unusual for it to catch its breath or trade sideways within this wide bar, but remember that it would be crucial for Reliance to hold on to this low of 2248 for it to lead the momentum on the upside towards the final target of 2396. Also, if you have any doubts or queries, feel free to drop in the comments down below. And on that note, it's Gurleen signing off. Until we meet again, have a good time.